Hello. Hi. It is I, Zenipai. Want to continue this because I am a little invested in the story. The writing can be kind of floofy, but it is very fun. I still enjoy myself playing this game. So, without further ado, Seven Kingdoms and the Princess Problem. We're gonna start back where we left off, which I believe was us failing the self introductions, even though I thought I did really well. What's up, Echo? How you doing? Yes. Today I am Ynez, not Zen. I am Ynez. I haven't come up with a fem model yet, but we can always workshop that at some point. All right. Now, here we go. Bright light battles its way into your eyes as morning makes its presence known. Not gonna lie, that gives me Emperor's New Groove vibes. What? The name? Amzi, Yzma, and yes, I am Ynez. Isn't Ynez kind of a? I thought Ynez is kind of a Hispanic name, don't you think? Alright. Reluctantly, you open your eyes to see Jasper staring down at you impatiently, and you have a feeling you must have slept in. Sinech itek. What? Good morning, Lady Ynez. As it is the start of the new week, we need to discuss your schedule. Since we are running a little late this morning, perhaps during breakfast, I will return after you have changed. Although you slept for some time, you don't feel at all rested. You essentially sleepwalk through getting dressed, and Seira and Rhea move you around like a very tired doll. It's only when seated in front of a steaming cup of chai and delicious plates of food that you begin to perk up. Which is, of course, the exact minute Jasper clears his throat and gives you his let's get down to business face. There's only one mandatory group event planned this week, a riding picnic expedition to explore the island. We have found it is safer if we give attendees a tour of all the safe spots before you all go off exploring on your own. Princess Penelope has issued an invitation to join her for breakfast one morning this week. Would you like to accept? That sounds delightful. I will inform her butler. Lady Avali has invited you to join her for dessert one night. Would you like to accept? Sounds like an intriguing evening, yes, although she might poison me. But we are friends, I think. I shall inform her butler. In lieu of hosting an event this week, you are one of the few delegates that have been selected to have a chance to lead a team during the long-time summit tradition, the boat race on the lake. Captains are in charge of recruiting a team of fellow delegates to man their ship and lead them during the race. Would you like to be a captain? I'm not sure if I'm up to be a captain. I feel like I'd rather watch or wait to be recruited to someone else's team. Our character isn't strong. Our character. Let's go back to the page and let's see, right? Relationships and serve my nation. Serve nation. Serve GL. I think that's what you're trying to. Unattached, unentangled. Oh, we have money now. That's cool. So even though we lost 25 last time, we gained another thing. I misheard in. What's wrong with you, Echo? Why you hear these things in your head? Self-defense, quick-wittedness, defensive insects, book smarts. I wonder. Leadership. We need. Okay. We're not the leadership type. We are courageous, but we're not leadership type. Do you think we can focus on leadership? I don't think so. I want to focus on being on having good etiquette, poise, and like charm and eloquence before we do anything. Well, I know I can increase your self-defense. Take a trip to the Detroit Threat Management Center. Well, that's kind of specific. Alright. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back, and I think the wise thing to do is not be a leader. I'd rather watch. Very well, Lady Ynez. I will inform the organizers of your decision. This will leave you 10 blocks of free time. Is this acceptable? Yes, that sounds correct. Finally, you have received a letter. Ooh. An anonymous person. And ask for that deal. Oh, okay. Fair lady, we have not formally met, but I found your self-introduction last night endearing. There are many who will not see it the same way. You've exposed a weakness, and there are many who will not hesitate to use that against you. I urge you to be careful this week. A friend. Ooh. That's a nice... Yeah, a friend is really a nice name. You can feel your eyebrows rising as you read this letter. Is it a warning or a threat? It's rather pitying to be either one. And who could it be from? No matter what the truth of the letter is, you can only conclude that you must take it seriously. If you are getting letters like this, then you are truly in danger. From the sender or from someone else. You don't know. It'll be best to be careful this week. I didn't recognize the handwriting on the address, and seeing your expression, is it something distressing, Lady Ynez? Perhaps you should show the letter to Jasper and see what he thinks. If it were a small matter, I would deal with it alone, but something this serious, I feel consulting Jasper would be wisest. You hesitate before handing the letter over to Jasper. I don't know how serious this is, but it seems best to be prepared for the worst. Jasper reads the letter, a slight frown creasing his brow. It may mean nothing, but I agree it is wisest to be safe. I will do what I can to look into this. In the meantime, I suggest you go about your morning as normal. You have no schedules this morning, so you may spend your time as you wish. Sunday! Hey, it actually is Sunday. Okay, do I have leadership skills? I don't think we have leadership skills. We just learn about learn to defend yourself, wander the aisles, skulk around the castle. We don't learn leadership. That's what I thought. Explore the castle. I feel like I know. We have a little bit of eloquence going on, and I think we should do that, right? We should let's get it up to 60 and we should be fine. You barely managed to eat any of the food at dinner, an illogical weakness you never would have ascribed to yourself. Not only was the food necessary as fuel for daily life, but the food here at the Isle was certainly of superior quality. Your lack of appetite isn't the only irregularity you've noticed. You have also been feeling unusually weak, easily tired, sometimes taken with fever, other times with oppressive chill, and your hands have started to shake, even when performing such simple, familiar tasks such as turning the pages in a book. Clearly, something is wrong with you. And as you look strangely inflamed paper cut that is still angry and red, even so long after you've received it, you have a sinking feeling that it is not something the castle healers will be prepared to deal with. When in doubt, there's only one place that feels right to go to. You head to the library to do some research on your symptoms. It doesn't take you long. Apparently, there was a famous case of something similar a few summons ago. There's no cure then, and there's no cure now. As best as you can suppose, the letter you read last week was coated in a rare poison. You are dying. Slowly, but dying all the same. There's nothing your wits and logical deduction ability standing between you and a painful death. Thankfully, you are at least confident in those and your ability to research. There's no reason to give up yet. But for now, you have to go back to your everyday life at the summit. Ooh, we are being... explore the castle. Lakeside gazebo, the gardens. Where do you want to explore? What do I want to explore my room for? I think Grand Library. You don't find any Grand Library. No! I want to... No. Eloquence. There we go. Let's... How good is our eloquence now? 55? I want it to be 60. You spend some time public speaking in the mirror. There we go. Okay, we'll do more eloquence, right? New day dawns. Is it invitation to join teams in the ship race are sent out? Hammond of Heist has asked you to join his team. Yo, the one dude who can actually win this has actually invited us to his team. Oh my god, Hammond, please. You want to join Hammond's team? Yes. I will do anything for you, Hammond. You've agreed to race on Hammond's team. Nice, yay. Okay, need to improve my abilities. Okay, so we have 60 now, I believe, in eloquence. But now we need some charm. How do we get charm? Poise. How do we get poise? I think poise is from dancing, maybe? Practice dancing. Alright. No, it's not. It's not poise. What did we get from dancing? Huh? Did we get more grace? I don't think we got more grace from that. What? Okay. Alright, here we go. After dinner, you make your way to one of the small private dining rooms for your appointment with Lady Avalee. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. What are you gonna say, Echo? What kind of dance are you thinking about, huh? Yeah. She is so hard to read that you don't know what to expect. But as she promised, it's just the pair of you alone in a very large pile of every kind of mouth-watering dessert you could imagine. Oh, no, 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 I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back. No. 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 Oh my god. No, 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 no. I need to, wait. I know there's a way. Return. There you go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, there you go. That's true. You can't get more grace from constant Fortnite dancing. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Dancing is still dancing. It's still movement of the body, you know. Yeah.
Good morning, Lady Ynez. I am so pleased you agreed to my little invitation. I've been looking so forward to the chance to get to know you better. You have been such in high demand. I wasn't sure if I would get the chance.
On the contrary, I thought you were the only one in such demand that I would never get to know you, Lady Avalee. I'm very happy to get this chance. I hope you aren't expecting me to eat all of those desserts. I suppose I'm a little popular. Oh, I don't know. Would you be interested in getting to know me? There's not. Okay. Yes, I flatter you.
That's very nice of you to say, Lady Ynez. But I assure you, between the pair of us, you are definitely the one drawing more attention.
Really? Her face reminds me of the typical male face from older animes. Just that I mean, yeah, her face isn't that sharp, but yeah, you get. She does kind of look very bishoujo. You know what I mean? Like she does look have that manly look that like from Bishonen animes back in the day. You know what I mean? So in this case, she's very bishoujo. I suppose we are going to have to agree to disagree on that point, Lady Avalee. Friendships are certainly built over worse differences.
Yes, a very flattering problem to have, isn't it?
Lady Avalee smiles at you from across the table.
Please, eat. I will feel horribly for all the poor pastry chefs if we don't at least take good sample of everything. I highly recommend the chocolate and the strawberry tarts myself.
You make yourself a small plate of food and take a few scrumptious bites. It's very good.
Whatever you can say about the summit, no one can insult the food. I may have had more than one person mention that they attempted to live here in the Isle forever, as long as they can keep eating so well.
And then, I'll just call her Huamu. And then she has the same psychopathic tendencies of Wu Zetian. Right. I mean, kind of, actually. She is kind of a bitch, but not too much. You know, she's just the right amount of bitch, you know? Okay, it's happened again.
Although I still doubt the servants got to so much trouble when the summit isn't going on. Still, they are clearly masters of their crafts, which I find very admirable. I don't think there's very much point in doing something unless you are going to do it very well. Maybe even the best. Don't you think, Lady Ynez?
Perhaps it's not as easy for everyone to find the things they're good at. I certainly admire those who have a gift for talent, like the chefs of the Isle. They certainly have high standards. I think there's much more to the journey of becoming skilled. No, that's not what we're trying.
Well, there is some value in that. There are many who see such talent and can only feel impotence and envy. Admiration seems a better response on the whole.
Lady Avalee smiles at you as if you were talking of nothing more than which was your preferred dessert.
Here I come hoping to get to know you better, and I spend our time talking of pastries. I know you didn't take any of the tests of training to be a delegate. There must be quite the story behind your presence here, Lady Ynez.
Rather a series of unfortunate, unlikely events. What exactly do you think an interesting story is?
It must be quite a surprise for you to be here. Are you finding it difficult without any of the preparatory proper education or training the rest of us received?
Well, I do find many of the expectations and behavior here illogical. Before you know it yourself, drawn out into a lengthy conversation about you and your past. It is only when the dark grows so great that you hastily remember the time and place and you realize that while you expose a great deal about yourself, your conversational partner, Lady Evely, exposed very little. Still, you had an enjoyable evening and conversation and feel a little better versed in the complex subject of people, Evely being such an unusual example of one. Wind Day. So Wind Day is Monday, Wednesday, I don't know. The curtains of your bed are pulled back and sunlight streams into your sleep-heavy eyes.
I'm sorry to wake you up, Lady Ynez, but this morning all the delegates are to gather for a morning ride and...
Look at the sunlight streaming in through the window, or rather the position of the sun, and sigh. I'm running late. Luckily, I do my best work when under pressure. You get out of bed and hastily set about the washing. Sarah enters the room carrying a fresh basin of water. She sets it down near where Ria is preparing your hairbrush, and the maid lets out a little yelp of horror. You hurry to see what could have alarmed to see a black feather from some sort of large bird had fluttered in through the open window and landed in the basin.
Oh, lady, I wish you didn't have to go. This is an ill omen, clear as the freckles on my face.
There's no need to worry, Ria. Surely I'm too sensible to be affected by ill omens. Sarah quickly grabs her feather and tosses it into the fire, but Ria clearly remains unbothered, even as she helps you into your casual riding habit. Let me try a thing. I am the omen. Alright. Let's see if this is better. Still, she forces herself to seem cheerful.
I so like hazel on you, Lady Ynez. It matches your eyes. It makes you look so well.
Since you slept in, you don't have very much time until you have to go report for the group ride. You could use it in trying to comfort Ria's fears, or you could make sure you look your best. I want to comfort Ria. I do. But I need to improve my appearance. Because, this is... Look, no offense, Ria, but I'm in the business of politics and negotiations and making sure that the kingdoms don't kill each other. So you spend more time coming up with more flattering hairstyles. You do look quite a bit more becoming, if you do say so yourself. Jasper quietly knocks on the door before letting yourself in. Lady Ynez, it is time to go. Everyone is gathering in the gardens for now. Thanks to the efforts of your servants, you arrive precisely on time. Which is to say, they're right in time to see about half the delegates milling around aimlessly while waiting for the other half to dignify the event with their appearance. Do you Oh, it's Dowager Countess. Do you gamble, Lady Ynez? Shall we wager on who shall be the last to make their arrival and how long they will make the rest of us wait? For myself, I would put the odds on Lord Blaine. He seems overly fond of beautifying himself and far less fond of mornings. You turn in surprise to see the Dowager Countess. My lady, I had no idea you were accompanying us this morning. Sadly, no, I no longer ride. I shall spend my morning waiting here in the garden and keeping company to any who return early. I do envy you all, though. I used to love to ride. Ironically, it was the last thing I did before I ended up in this. He gestures to the chair. I'm so sorry. Don't be, child. I've had a long time to come to terms with my accident. I was probably no older than you. You were at the time, and just newlywed. Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean to live up to the stereotypes you young people have about us older ladies and go melancholy while regaling with stories of days long gone. Yes, Please do keep such all depressing stories. I think there's much to be learned from the stories of days long gone, Lady Event, melancholy or not, so as long as they are true.
And maybe some from those that are not. Good morning, Yvette. How long do you think we will be forced to wait until here we can finally set off? Lady Ynez and I were just laying odds for that very question, and who shall be the one who causes the longest delay? Without a doubt, it will be my new personal headache, Lord Blaine. I swear, if he were not my brother's godson, the boy would have been dead 10 times over by the time he hit puberty.
Aha, at last, the mystery of his survival was explained. The odds of the female chaperone's guess proving correct increased as more and more latecomers made their way into the gardens, including Princess Gisette and her brother Prince Jared.
Good morning, Lady Ynez. You are looking quite well this morning, isn't she, Jared?
The princess elbowed her brother into something that was halfway between a grunt and a shrug, but he smiled as if he had given the most eloquent agreement.
Well, we had best head toward the stables. My brother's very particular about his horse flesh. Perhaps we will have a chance to chat on the ride.
The pair headed off, but you weren't left alone with the chaperones for long.
Good morning, Angeslin. Please tell me you aren't torturing Lady Ynez and the good Countess with your solidities and latest trends in silk.
Of course not. Your aunt's company is delightful, as is that of Lady Yvette. Of course, well, a terrible thing for a nephew to imply about his aunt. I see you have finally found your limit, Prince Zarad. Good morning, Your Highness. I trust you're doing well. Princess Jesslyn looks gratified. Her nephew, on the other hand, looks skeptical.
My aunt is a great many things, but I have never found her to be delightful or a morning which has required early rising.
Oh, you are terrible. But you bring me all the best gossip, so I shall forgive you.
It is then that Lord Blaine stumbles on bleary-eyed and scowling. But to the disappointment of Lady Yvette and Princess Jaslyn, he is not actually the last delegate to arrive. That honor goes to one of the female delegates from Revere, who decided that finishing touch to her routine should be a hat filled with colorful feathers and at least a foot high each. Now that everyone has assembled, you are herded towards the stables. As the stables aren't big enough to handle all the delegates at once, you are told to wait outside while the servants lead out horses and help everyone to mount. You are brought a large white horse that shuffles uneasily under its handler's care. You don't know enough about horses to tell if this is normal behavior or not. Animal plant knowledge failure. But because of the difficulties making your mount stay still enough for you to get on, you are one of the last delegates to mount. Led by the surprisingly agile rider head butler, most of the rest of the delegates are already readying their way to explore the grounds. Essentially, everyone you have come to know in the past week and a half is far ahead. You aren't even close enough to make out most of what the head butler is saying. Thankfully, you are not forced to awkwardly ride by yourself, as Princess Cordelia neatly rides up to join you.
You would think that with all their experience and staff would be better at organizing these events, but I have found the self-introductions and now this ride rather sloppily executed. I wonder if they expect us, those of us who prefer a more leisurely ride, to simply educate ourselves on the environs and dangers they seem to be so concerned about. Not to mention the inherent danger in the group separating. If something were to happen with this lack of organization, how could we expect to respond?
Are things usually more carefully organized in heists? I confess that would surprise me a little.
We aren't all drunken pirates who drive on the chaos. Just most of us.
The corners of your mouth twitch as you realize Princess had made a joke. As you are the back of the group and stuck keeping company with the cautious rider that the princess turned out to be, the pair of you made slow progress. The front of the group gets more and more distant, and most of the people who are riding near the back with you are poor riders, spending most of their concentration on staying astride.
At least it is nice weather for a ride.
Wind is the only positive thing. I wonder how long they are gonna expect us to ride. The scenery is quite beautiful. This isle is a really lovely place. Princess Cordelia makes no response as you have left the forest past grounds of the castle and instead come up with a large field filled with flowers. The princess gasps in pleasure.
Oh, How lovely. A few of the delegates have dismounted in order to get a closer look at the flowers, and Cordelia quickly joins them, smelling the flowers happily. Your horse, on the other hand, has been getting harder and harder to control. Even your easy pace had caused it to slide, ziddle, and twitch. You are afraid if you dismount, there will be no chance of getting back on. You are considering the merits of getting off versus staying on when suddenly there's a loud banging noise that echoes through the meadow. Before you can stop it, your horse is reeling off, wild and out of control. Flustered by the sudden wild breakneck pace of the horse, you are unable to remain calm. Your eyes widen with the beginnings of panic as you realize your horse is wildly racing not through the peaceful meadow, but straight toward the island's cliffs. The horse is headed right toward the edge and makes no sign of slowing, let alone stopping. Even in the face of plunging into an unpleasant doom, you manage to corral your fear. If you do nothing, there's very little doubt you won't survive your horse's mad flight. Your brain races as you search for a plan to ensure you survive. The cliffs are drawing closer and closer. You're going to have to act, or it'll be too late. Oh wait, what? You have a good enough self-protective instincts and skills that you should be able to do something. As the cliff comes closer and closer, you squeeze your eyes shut, having come to the realization that you lack the ability to save yourself. But just as the terror is about to win, you feel a strongly muscled arm wrapped around your waist and tug you off your horse and onto his. Easy, Glitter. I've got you. You are safe now. You are flooded with a wave of relief as you realize you have been saved, followed immediately by a swirling head and clenching stomach when you look and see how close to the edge you came. I think you need to let me down or I'm going to be sick. Alarmed, Hammond pulls his horse to a stop and you gratefully slide back down to solid ground. Prince Zarad walks up to the pair of you and somehow having managed to calm down and retrieve your horse into the chaos, he leads both his horse and yours up to where you are standing, but his attention is on Hammond.
I think Lady Ynez is going to need a new mount, since you seem to be a better rider than I am. Will you go to the stables and tell them what has happened?
Hammond pauses, giving you a long, considering look, before finally nodding. Alright, I'll be back soon, Glitter, and if anything happens, just give me a shout. I'll be right back. Hammond rides off, leaving you alone with Zarad and your horse. You were saved by Hammond! Yay! Hammond, oh my god. Hammond has been romantic throughout this whole thing. I think I'm gonna fall for Hammond. The Prince of Corval gives you a measuring look before finally nodding to himself, as if finally coming to a decision. He pulls up the saddle and gear of your horse as if looking for something. Your horse whinnies in pain as he quickly pulls up something from where it had dug deeply into the horse's back. Saying nothing, he opens his palm and shows you what is inside. You look at the bright red thorn with a confused look on your face. What's that?
It is a thorn from the Morik bush, more commonly known as the fire thorn, for its ability to grow increasingly painful the longer it has been in contact with the flesh. It also has properties that when it is embedded in the flesh of an animal, causes them to act with increasingly erratic behavior.
You think someone put it underneath my horse's saddle? Deliberately?
I think it is most likely explanation, yes.
And anyone who would do that
probably didn't plan on you surviving this ride.
You swallow. It wasn't exactly fun when your near-death experience seemed like an accident. Now that you knew it was almost surely an assassination attempt.
If you want my advice, you should tell as few people about this as possible. Those who pay attention to such things will already know you have successfully thwarted the attempt. By proclaiming what has happened with no proof and no firm suspect, you will only label yourself as a victim. And worse, a victim that has an enemy who wants you dead. I don't know what you are really hoping to accomplish here at the summit, but whatever it is, that can only hurt you and bring you a lot of the wrong kind of attention. If you want to get to the bottom of this, I suggest you investigate quietly instead.
Your mind filled with racing thoughts of what had happened and what you should do about it, but the rest of the ride is a blur. A new horse was procured. Prince Zarad explained to everyone else that you had a bit of an accident and you were a bit shaken up, but you were fine. You looked to see if anyone had looked disappointed that you still lived, but everyone looked relieved that you were safe. Concerned about you, or at worst, indifferent. Your mind is in a disordered mess when the ride is over and you return to your room. It is strange that Rhea and Sayra aren't there to greet you and help you change out of your riding habit, but when you catch a glimpse of Jasper's pale, tight face, somehow, you know. He knows. And probably sent the maids away so he could talk to you in private.
My lady, are you well?
Uh-huh.
As well as can be expected, considering someone just tried to murder me. His face tightens into a frown, but for once you are confident that you are not the subject of his disapproval. I'm very sorry for what happened today. If I had been there, no matter. I'm relieved to see you well.
How did you know? Do you know?
Prince Zarad advised me against telling anyone I don't think he did. Prince Zarad is correct, and I am grateful for his help and his advice. It'll be far easier for me to look into this matter if we keep it quiet, and it will cause less trouble for you. It is only until after he has moved to pace across the room that you realize he has neatly dodged your question. Ria and Sarah will return soon. For now, I can only advise that you go about your week here as if nothing has happened. It will send a better message to whoever plotted this than the blind accusations or distress ever could. You nod and prepare to go about the rest of your day. Okay. Sorry. You nod and prepare to go about the rest of your day. Alright. Ask someone for skill advice. If we skulk around the castle with Hamid, what exactly are we gonna do there, actually? Maybe we should just focus on, like, what we can, right? Like, okay, our eloquence is great. I think, etiquette. If we just have a little bit of etiquette, will be great. Right? We can do great. Okay. Etiquette. Okay. A new day dawns. Penelope has invited you to join her in her bedroom chamber. Ooh, Penelope has invited me to the bed. For a private breakfast and a very unusually friendly gesture from a royal. As soon as you walk inside the door, her butler is ushering you politely in. You are enveloped in an instant tight hug.
Oh, Lady Ynez, how are you? Yesterday was dreadful, wasn't it? What a horrible accident. I was ever so worried for you. I couldn't even sleep last night. I'm so glad nothing happened to you. I don't know what had happened if, well, it's too horrible to contemplate.
I'm fine, as you see. Please don't worry. I'm afraid it'll take more than a little incident to get rid of me. You are stuck with me yet, Your Highness. My condolences. I says that.
Oh, don't say it like that. It's an awful thing to joke about.
My apologies, Your Highness. I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh, no, you didn't. You're the first friend I made here. I can't laugh at even teasing mention of losing you.
You can't help but think that if she is upset over this, your potential accident, it really is for the best that she never find out that it was rather something more deliberate.
But, you must be starving after your ordeal. Come, sit. Let us have breakfast. I didn't know what you liked, so I ordered a little bit of everything.
Yes, if we are to eat everything, we really best get started. You join her at her small breakfast table where she nervously smiles at you, take your first bite, and make exaggerated noises of enjoyment. What sort of things do you like to do in your free time, Your Highness?
Well, I like to go for walks in the garden, listen to music and stories. My ladies often read to me or play music while we do needlework. I very much love plays and theater. I'm always thrilled when a troupe visits the palace.
You manage to engage the princess in a discussion of her hobbies. Soon, you are both enjoying your breakfast and conversing comfortably. The pair of you spend a rather enjoyable breakfast together. Princess Penelope is so sweet and charming that you can't help but feel being in her company, some of that has rubbed off on you a little. Ooh. Okay. How's our skills? We need more etiquette. We need a little bit more etiquette. Okay, etiquette. Okay, there, good. We got good etiquette. Now, I think maybe what is good here? Oh no, our etiquette is just 55. Okay, so we need one more etiquette. Etiquette. Ria has woken you up earlier than even the sun. Today is the ship races, and you'll have to get ready and leave early in order to get to the lake on time. After quick breakfast, you were too sleepy to eat, and you were escorted to the lake. Despite the early hour, you're not the first one to arrive at the lake. You notice the Grand Duke Woodley is busily overseeing some of the preparations. He notices you and gives you a brief nod of acknowledgement, but quickly goes back to his work. Never has the title of his choice, Captain, suited better. Never has the title of his choice, Captain, suited Hammond better than as you see him surveying the boats and the lake, studying the water and the wind. After looking up to see you standing there, he waves and walks up to you with a cheerful grin. Aha! Glitter! My good luck charm has arrived. I hope you woke up excited and ready to win. You can hardly call me a good luck charm when the race hasn't even started. But with such a lovely lady on my crew, there's simply no way we will lose. My honor will not allow it. Ah, Glitter, I am surprised how excited I am for this. It is a lake, not the sea. But it will be me, the boats, water and winds again. It has been barely 2 weeks, but I have surprised myself with how much I missed them. It's not so surprising. Many delegates are suffering from homesickness. But that is what surprises me most, I think. If you would have asked me, I never would have said my ship felt like home. And yet, since I have been away from it, you felt lost? Perhaps. Or perhaps I was lost all along and having a ship allowed me to ignore it. For someone who claims to be very excited, you have become awfully melancholy. True enough. But you will have to forgive me, Glitter. I very nearly lost an important treasure the other day. It has left me thinking far more than my usual wont. With such perfect opening like that, do you truly expect me to resist teasing you on how little that might be? And yet, here you are. You are a treasure among treasures, Ynez. When I win the race, I will dedicate my victory to you. When? When? Aren't you glad we're on the same team? We can win together. Speaking of which, if I am to return you to my Lady Victory, I had best finish my preparations. The winds will bring us back together soon. With a cheerful smile that shows none of his confessed pensiveness, Hammond waves and walks off again. As the sun slowly begins to show its warm face, more and more of the delegates stumble to the lake in various states of wakefulness. Soon, it is time for the teams to begin gathering. You walk up to Hammond, where he stands gathering the rest of his team. Is it cheating when most of your team is from Heis? It is not cheating to secure every possible advantage. Besides, we have you to be our mascot for multi-nation cooperation, don't we? Very funny. Just remember, I'm not one of your loyal sailors. I don't have experience with this. That is fine, Glitter. I know what I am doing. Just follow my lead, and we cannot lose. Soon, the time for idle chit-chat has come to an end, and it is time to begin the race. You climb into the boat and take your place. Everyone else is familiar with one another and what they are doing, and work together like a practiced unit. You can't help but feel out of place. Very occasionally, as you and Hammond's team make your way across the lake, he gives a quick, calm orders that are instantly obeyed. Command settles around him like a fine, familiar cloak. Under Hammond's leadership, there are very few moments of trouble, but he is able to quickly spot and solve any problems. And your ability to think quickly doesn't hurt. You manage to help solve a few problems yourself. Somehow, despite the efforts and labor involved in keeping up to Hammond's quick set pace, he and his delegates remain in good humor. You hear them bellowing more than one dirty joke and breaking into raucous laughter. Raucous. You find yourself in the presence has served to lighten everyone's mood and increase morale. Before you know it, the other side of the lake and finishing the line has drawn near. The race is almost over. While all around you, your teammate let whoops of joy, it takes you a moment to realize that you and Hammond's team have claimed victory. Woo! We won! We won! Let's go! Let's go! Of course. This was the best choice we could have made. We did it, Glitter! I knew you were a good luck charm. Your team are loud and boisterous for their celebrations. It takes you some time to disentangle yourself from them in order to return to the castle. Ooh, we did the ship races. Let's go! Evening. That was week 1. I thought we had week 2. Okay, so we did the ship race, and then we did that starter. So now we have the thing back. So now, if we go to skills, our etiquette should be 60. I wonder what's important here. What if we go around with Hammond? Hammond is skulking around the dark road as a pirate. I'm pretty sure how horrified proper gentleman. Okay. What did that give me? Courage? Oh, it gave me courage. Oh, I don't need any more courage. I'm pretty courageous. Okay. Already. Okay. Alright. Oh, wait. Our poise went up, actually. Didn't it? Our poise went up. Cool. Alright. Another week has come to a close. You lay down in your bed and stare at your darkened ceiling. Sleep does not yet come. You find yourself thinking of everything that has happened this week. It is only the 2nd week, and already someone wants to kill you. Not only want to kill you, but wants it enough to have an arranged attempt. An attempt that very nearly succeeded. That is enough to keep anyone at night. Especially when you have more than one shadowy enemy to worry about. You don't think your multiple threats are connected to, and even having one... You don't think your multiple threats are connected, and even having one is enough to nearly kill you. What will having 2 do? And it's not just your past you have to worry about, but the future. Soon, the sun will dawn in your 3rd week at the Isle, and it is during the end of the 3rd week where you will once again face the matchmaker. If she doesn't approve of you now, well, you can't imagine it will be good. And even if she does approve of you, then the end of next week is when you will know who, if anyone, she has agreed to match you with. Your marriage, your future, even your life. Here at the summit, everything is on the line. And that's not even counting the fate of nations, which may change forever before these weeks are done. Your eyelids grow heavy, and soon everything grows dark. For a few hours at least, you find some peace in sleeping oblivion. Sunday. The sunshine streaming through your window and dancing most stubbornly against your tightly closed eyelids brings proof that another morning has arrived. And with it, the start of your 3rd week on the Isle. With everything that has happened, you can hardly believe you still have many weeks left to go. You are arguing with yourself about the potential merit of refusing to get up and face all your responsibilities and possible enemies when a familiar sound makes your choice for you. Jasper is clearing his throat impatiently, waiting for you. You know from experience that he won't go away until you wake up and listen to whatever it is he has to tell you. So, you peel your eyes open, inform your butler you are awake and will be ready shortly. After you have dressed and washed, Jasper comes back into the room and sits you down. His expression is even more serious than usual. As you may or may not be aware, in many ways, this is the 3rd week of the summit. It is the most important in determining the future of the delegates. The matchmaker who you met on your 2nd day here is an important part of the summit. This is because Katya believed in political marriages were a necessity for nations to develop understandings and proper alliances. It is not so easy to go to war against your cousins, nephews, and sisters. But she also believed that there is value in knowing your heart. The matchmaker is her attempt to combine both things that she has found important. The matchmaker is not the only one here to make sure everyone is of suitable character, nature, and skill to be a valuable asset as a marriage alliance candidate, but it is also to see if any of the delegates have the potential to form a match of the heart, as well of the nation. It seems unreasonably optimistic to think that people who just happen to be a perfect political match will also find love. I had no idea Katya was such an impractical romantic. Jasper ignores your interjection, like the professional butler that he is. At the end of the week, the matchmaker will announce the couples, if any. She approves of the potential love matches. She will, of course, give recommendations again to the ambassadors and the delegates at the end of the summit. But those will be matches she approves of for political reasons, and where she believes they will like one another well enough that there will be no attempts to murder one another. Katya believed that love took time, and so many couples the matchmaker believes will soon are given special dispensation to spend time together during the summit, truly getting to know one another. There isn't a perfect success rate, of course, but actually a fairly high amount of couples that the matchmaker thinks might fall in love prove to have happy, loving relationships and get married. Last summit, she only gave 2 such recommendations, and as far as I know, both pairs are very happy together. But it is not just your romantic future you should be concerned about this week. You will have your second interview with the matchmaker this week, and this is your last chance to prove to her you deserve to be here. If you don't manage to improve her opinion of you, your time here at the summit will be a failure. Assuming you pass your second interview, you will also have a final meeting with the matchmaker before she makes up her mind on who, if anyone, will agree to pair off. And on the evening of Star Day, there will be a traditional grand matchmaker's banquet, where any couples are announced and celebrated. In addition to your various interviews and the banquet, there is another important tradition this week. Actually, it's rather 2 traditions in one. Tomorrow morning is the matchmaker's breakfast. She says it's important, and that she understands how people interact in a more natural group setting before she makes any decisions. But there is another tradition attached at the breakfast that we'll explain in a moment. First, you must make some decisions about your time this week. Everyone is quite busy. Very few people are entertaining, and you have received no invitations. That does not mean, of course, that you may not take advantage of this opportunity to invite someone else to spend time with you, so that you may get to know them better before any final decisions are made this week. Would you like to invite someone on a date this week? I think I'd like that, as you wish. Your fellow delegates might appreciate the break from all the matchmaker business this week. You could always host another social event. I'd rather not have an event this week. Now, very well. Then this will leave you with 10 blocks of free time this week. Is this acceptable? I've changed my mind. Okay, yes. Let's invite someone on a date. Let me see what are even under pressure. Okay, this will leave you 7 blocks of this free time. Is you perfect yourself? Okay. Alright, let me. I'd rather not have an event this week. What? It was 10 it was 10 a while ago. Whoa. Ten blocks of free time. Is this acceptable? Yes. Now that is settled, we have another matter to discuss. Are you familiar with the secret tradition associated with the matchmakers through breakfast? Why does my microphone do this? Alright, there we go. No, please tell me. As I told you during your first week, the matchmaker is rather difficult to please and does not readily make the delegates feel comfortable. Out of this was born a tradition. Every morning, before everyone gathers, delegates receive gifts and notes from those they have met here on the Isle to wish them well. There is no obligation to give, of course, but the superstition is that the gifts ensure good luck and success in their final interviews with the matchmaker. Whether this is true or just a result of those delegates most likely to inspire others to give gifts also being the most able to impress the matchmaker, I couldn't say. It is also forbidden to discuss the presents, either the ones you sent or received, with anyone. Only the butlers will know who has gotten things from whom, and we are sworn to secrecy. According to tradition, this is so that the good wishes and good luck are preserved. If you ask me, the rumor that talking about what you received and from whom you've ruined your luck was purposely spread by the staff after presents or lack thereof caused one too many disagreements. Whatever its origin, of unofficial or not, the rule is firm. Don't discuss your presents given or received with anyone until after the summit is over. Just in time for this event, merchants sail in with lots of appropriate, not too expensive items for you and the delegates to purchase as gifts. Of course, each delegate is arranged to have a private time to shop, so no presents may be spoiled. Our time is just in a few moments. Are you ready? As I have been managing your funds for you while you stay here, I can remind you that between the money you brought with you and your allowance, minus any hosting expenses you currently have, 70 gold. But remember, if you plan to host any more events, you may still have other uses for your money, so you may want to consider being frugal. Jesper takes you to where the merchants have set up shop in the ballroom. Small stands have been set up, and as the only customer, all eyes are on you. But it's not just the merchants you now have to think about. Who, if anyone, do you want to give a present, and what will the present be? Who do you want to buy a present for? Ooh. I feel like naturally we're going the Hamin route. We're going the Hamin route right now. Anna was my first love, yes, but Hamin is just such a bad boy, you know? What gift would you like to give to Hamin? A heartfelt letter, a ship in a bottle. That sounds amazing. Nice good winds charm, fancy lockpicks. I think he likes charms more than ships and bottles. Something he can always keep with him, you know? You decide to buy him a small charm. Gold remaining, 65. Ooh, we can do multiple people. Let's go. Let's give one to Anna. A heartfelt letter. Fur-lined boots. Embossed scabbard. Penelope, yes. I don't know what an eye coal is. Let me look at this. What is a coal? What is a coal? Oh, okay. Eyeshadow, eyeliner kind of thing. Okay, got you. Alright. You know what? I think Penelope is just a heartfelt letter. That's fine. Avali, maybe, but rich chocolates. Yes, there we go. I have a lot of money. Emmett, Lyle, Lion. Let's give something to Lion. Etiquette manual, rare book of puzzles. I think he would like the tea. Should we give one to Zarad? I think Claremont doesn't like us. I feel bad because Claremont is a good boy. Alright, here we go. I think I'm fine. Unless I want to give... I guess Cordelia has been nice to us. Cosmetics, sure. Should we give something to Gisette? I feel like Gisette would just shut down anything we give her, you know? I want to give Zarad anything. He ditched us, you know? Okay. Oh, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay. A thin gold bracelet. Yes. You know what? Let's give one to Jared just as a, you know. There we go. Okay. We have a lot of maybe Blaine, just so that he hates us less, you know. Okay. I don't think we like anyone else. Yeah, we don't like anyone else. Okay. We spent a lot of money on gifts. Your shopping is done. Jasper walks you back into your room, and you write notes and letters and hand them to Jasper, who will arrange for them to be given out tomorrow morning. Despite all the flurry and activity decisions, in truth, your day is just beginning. Wait, oh, yeah, okay, I remember now. They were planning to play something else. Okay, here we go. Despite all the flurry of activity and decisions, in truth, your day is still just beginning. You're going to have to make some very big game-changing decisions this week. Check your journal notes for details. Okay, well. Okay, relationships. Have rivalry, friendship. Okay, we have a little bit of friendship with him now. Lord Blaine, our rivalry went down a little bit.
Lady Avalie has a lot of respect for us. I guess we're kind of friends with Princess Cordelia. Princess Gisette. Okay, I think our friendship went down. Rivalry went down a little bit. But I think Prince Hamin, yeah, Prince. Okay, we're more friends than lovers at this point. But I think that's not a bad thing. Practical, academic people. Improve your skill advice. Warfare, history, cunning, academics, politics. Get beauty tips from your mates. I think beautifying ourselves is important for this week. You walk into your room in search of your maids, having just been a very unsubtle hint from one of the delegates that you could use some freshening up. For once, Jasper is nowhere to be found. You have no doubt that if his duty is required, he would stoically attempt to assist you in adjusting your corset, but it would have been most assuredly awkward. But it's not just Jasper who's nowhere to be found. Neither Syra or Rhea are in sight. Normally, you would attempt to solve the problem yourself. Prefer that even. But today, Rhea talked you into wearing particularly complicated breast of corset, and one that is laced in the back, no less. Thankfully, you are contemplating your dilemma. Your savior, in the form of a cheerfully humming maid and carrying a large stack of fresh laundry, walks into the room.
Oh, Lady Ynez, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb. Did you want to be alone? I'll just put this away and go.
Not at all. In fact, I was just hoping to find
Jasper? I know he's so helpful of you, lady, and he knows so many interesting things. I wish I was half as smart as he is. I'm not sure where he is, but do you want me to go find him for you?
No, actually, I was.
Oh, are you looking for Syra then? I admire her so much. She is so strong and talented. Far too talented for a life of a maid. Not like someone like me. When I tell her that, she says she's content to be where she is. For now, I think she's talking to Mrs. White. Shall I go get her?
If you keep trying to run away from me, I'm going to think you don't like me, Rhea.
Oh, no, Lady Ynez, that is not true at all.
What's up, Seraph? Dude. How you doing? Thanks for dropping by. We are continuing our playthrough of Seven Kingdoms, The Princess Problem. Yes, I will have a drink. Thank you very much. Yes, banana. How you doing? I agree that Jasper and Syra are both talented and capable, but for what I need, you are actually perfect. Rhea blushes with pleasure and finally stops talking long enough for you to explain your problem. The pair of you chat comfortably while she sets you to rights and even manages to make you look even better than normal. She denies it when you compliment her and thank her for it. Doing good, just doing Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is fun to do. I feel that. What's your usual, like, what are you trying to do now in Project Zomboid?
Oh, it's not me at all, Lady Ynez. It was there naturally to begin with. Just some of the oils and herbs I've been putting in your washing water just might be bringing out your natural shine a little.
You are a wonder, Rhea. I insist. You take the compliment.
Oh, I'm nothing compared to you. Why, you are so grand and wonderful, and you're always so nice, even to someone like me.
No more talk like that. I forbid it. You are not someone. You are my very important and very talented lady's maid. I need your help here so many times, and if I'm half as important as you seem to think, that makes you very important too.
Thank you, Lady Ynez.
You don't manage to get in much more coherent out of Rhea for the rest of the day, but she seems happy all the same. You've been in the center of a lot of attention ever since your little accident the other day. Not the dangerous out to kill you type, although evidence shows you are getting enough of that. The kind of attention where suddenly you are gone from being just one of many delegates to being one of that lots of people, including important people, have been keeping eye on. You aren't complaining, exactly. It certainly takes catching notice of important people in order to do anything important yourself, but you really could live without the consequences. Now that you are a notable, every minor lording and desperate lady that was lucky enough to become a delegate have practically been haunting at your heels. Honestly, so many people have suddenly been dying for your company that they have all started to blur together and you don't even remember their names. Dinner was an intolerable affair where all your flighty seat partners wanted to talk about was some abstract impractical theory that wasn't even grounded in any real-world consequences and acted like you were supposed to be impressed with their silliness.
Now, you normally enjoyed people, but even you had reached your limit. It had been gotten so bad that even the contemplation of potentially being cornered in the hallway for another half-hour discussion of the irrational moodiness of their grandmother's dogs was enough to make you shudder. It was a matter of self-preservation that instead of the common routes, you've escaped dinner 5 minutes early and ducked into one of the less used servant passageways to make your way back to your room. Aside from your route being well less lit than the general halls and thus a little more shadowy and consequently creepy, you were beginning to think that your plan was most excellent. But just as you were mentally congratulating yourself, you realized that the Vale Castle is more complicated, especially in its servants' passageways than you initially thought. You are just going to have to admit it. You are lost. Before you have too much time to contemplate the best way to go about de-losting yourself, you hear the sound of voices and decide heading that way is asking for help, even if that's embarrassing, is probably the best way to go. It is only when you get close enough and start making out of somewhat of their saying that you realize this was not the rescue you were looking for. No, it seems like you have stumbled upon something far worse.
Shh! Do you want to hear someone to hear you, pretty little missy? I know you're just trying to play hard to get, but not everyone understands these things. Not like you will.
Please, sir, I just want to get back to work. Please let me go.
What's more important, work or pleasing me?
Please, sir, I'll be missed.
You went from listening to your fellow delegates talk too loudly with wine-stained breath to now finding a fully drunk delegate harassing a young serving girl. You don't have to listen to anything else. You're going to make sure that the drunkard leaves this poor girl alone, even if that has negative consequences for you. Despite your resolution, you don't seem to have the chance to intervene or not intervene before someone you recognize takes matters into her own hands. With a slick move that instantly moves the large drunkard from pinning the teary-eyed servant girl and trapping her against the wall, to having her elbow pulled all the way back and his face squished up against the marble wall, your maid Sarah appears seemingly out of nowhere. I think you have had enough for a drink this evening. Perhaps you would like to retire to your room. Should I summon a butler to assist you?
Get your hands off me right now, you upstart slattern! Don't you know who I am?
I know only the things that matter, sir. You are drunk, despicable, desperate, and entitled. You enjoy lording over what you assume to be power over those who are lacking the same. And someday, you will wake up to find out that everything you have thought that made you special is nothing, and you are only worth what you are inside, which for you will be an empty, rotting hollow of nothing.
What did you say? I'll have you fired. I'll have your mother fired. I'll have your bastard of father...
I should stop trying to make those voices.
No, I'll have you all extinguished.
This might be a good opportunity for you to intervene. Do you wish to? Of course, I always try to help out people. It's a duty of women everywhere to stick up for one another. I think I'll just go ahead and say I don't want to deal with this drunk. Even Sarah's my mate. It is. I'll just wait it out. You walk right up to the rude drunkard. I think you are confused, Sir Harold. While it is true the purpose of the summit includes trying to get a potential mate like you, I really think no one intended for you to practice so clumsily on the servants. Just look how terrified your poor target looks. If you flirt like that, you are really going to have no chance of getting married, just like your grandmother fears. His mind is sluggish. The drunk Sir Harold looks between you and the maids in confusion before finally sighing into submission. Giving you an unreadable look, Sarah releases him. You're just considering what to do next when that choice is taken out of your hands and Jasper appears out of nowhere as if summoned from the shadows. It appears you have had too much to drink, Sir Harold. Let me escort you back to your chambers. Lady Ynez, Sarah, I'll meet you back in your rooms in a moment. Like the truly frightening force of nature that he was, Jasper dragged the befuddled Sir Harold behind him, hissing the proper etiquette in treating aisle servants all the way. As soon as the pair was out of earshot, Sarah sighed. That is going to be us in a minute. Prepare yourself for an intense lecture on the dangers of confronting drunken sots. Sarah's words proved prophetic. Almost immediately after the pair of you returned to your room, Jasper came in, thunderclouds in his eyes. It was only after you are thoroughly informed of your folly and the potential danger of your actions that you are finally released from your afternoon plans. Okay. Who do we learn leadership from? That would be a good question. Oh, wait, no, I think we should just go with what we can. In this case, it is beauty. We can make ourselves more beautiful. Ask someone for skill advice. Made cheerfully instructed in fashion, make up another beauty tricks, but in the end, you are feeling prettier. Very nice. For once you are allowed to sleep in, undisturbed, the unusual fact brings your sleeping mind to concerned wakefulness. This is immediately followed by the thought that today is the matchmaker's breakfast. It's okay. Which is definitely enough to chase away any of the last traces of sleepiness. But before you have to face that intimidating old woman, you at least have the prospect of potential good luck gifts this morning. Now, if only you knew why you were being allowed to sleep in, but once you open your eyes and get up, the answer soon becomes apparent. Jesper has been busily arranging your small pile of presents in order to make them look most appealing. Good morning, Lady Ynez. We have just enough time for you to open your presents before we need to get ready for the breakfast. Oh, it's hard to resist the lure of a pile of beautifully wrapped and arranged presents, many with accompanying letters and notes. You nod eagerly and Jasper starts to hand you your presents. This is from Hamin of Heis. Showing no signs of distaste, even as you know Hamin is not Jasper's favorite delegate in the Isle, he hands you a small wrapped package. Inside is an old gold coin, strung on a simple chain like a pendant. Glitter. Despite the rumors about pirates, I have never actually been one for one superstition myself. I like to trust in my skill and the skill of my men rather than something as hard to predict as luck. My dad gave me this coin when I went on a ship for the first time. It has been in our family long enough time, and I would make sure it'd stay on the lucky side of things. I don't know that I believe it, but if anyone deserves some good luck, it's you, Glitter. So, I hope he was right, and it's true. Now you, Glitter, are gold. So you better be twice as careful in case some bad thieving pirate steals you away.
Oh, Hammond, please! Oh, you bad boy.
A gift from the Dowager Countess Yvette of Arlen. Jesper hands you the plain package that is to show a book covering the history of the summit for the past 100 years.
I thought this might be of interest to you. I have no doubt you already are someone who looks to the past to gain insight on the present and future. But perhaps you will find the history in this book practically helpful this week. But since I'm not surprised to play favorites, let's keep this between us. Yours, Yvette.
With the enthusiastic well wishes of Princess Penelope of Welling. Jesper hands you a box of expensive chocolates wrapped with a pretty green ribbon and a flower stuck through.
My dearest friend, I'm ever so glad that I've met you and you've been so kind enough to befriend me. I wish for you all the good things God and the world have to offer. My present isn't very special, but I hope you will enjoy it, and I know that it contains all my good wishes. I just know that everyone will be as impressed by you as I am, and we will stay friends forever. All the best, Penelope.
Now that we are finished with the business of presents, I'm sorry, Lady Ynez, but you must really get ready for breakfast. It will not do to be late or appear at less than your best. Thanks to Jasper's careful time management, you arrived to Matchmaker's breakfast both presentable and exactly on time. Jasper warned you that despite her stated goal of the breakfast, seeing all of you delegates interacting in your natural habitat, she also liked to see how well you responded under pressure to new situations, so she would be able to be sure to do something unpredictable. This year, apparently, it was with placards. Generally, the fancy dinners had rotating assigned seating, but breakfast was taken in your room, or was generally a casual affair. Not today. And certainly, the seating arrangements weren't made randomly or out of some sense of fairness. No, with a sinking feeling as you finally find your name who is sitting next to you, you suspect the matchmaker placed as many people who didn't get along together as she could. You have been placed in a corner in a seat between Lord Blaine and Prince Jarod, neither whom who have yet arrived. You sink your isolated seat and wonder if that is a blessing or a curse. You spend the first 10 minutes of the breakfast awkwardly sitting by yourself in silence, and you can't even start eating as that would be rude without your seat partners present. And of course, you would never think of being so mannerless. Oh yes, thank you for the hydrate. I will drink some water now, thank you. Actually, this is a good moment for me to, I'm actually out of water, so I'm going to refill my water. I'll be back in a little bit. Where is my, hold on. I'll be right back. Uh, where is it? Here we go. Let be your body. There you go. Okay, I'll be right back.
Ooh, you saw that? That was like BAM! So this is a 6-shot. Number of waves. Nice. My name's Cloud Strife. I am a soldier first class. I am definitely really awesome, and I'm not a scaredy cat at all. Octoslash! Arr. I must beat Sephiroth. I don't know why. But he's a bad guy, right? That's what you do? You fight bad guys? With big giant swords?
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah, that was a triple. I just like from
I
behind.
adjusted for this.
Yes. Oh, boom. I didn't think it would hit the other guy. I didn't see the other guy. I saw two.
And look at the Arisa behind you too.
Yeah, yeah. I like to think that. I am challenging the. Oh, oh. Yeah. Oh, yep. Okay, I can see Kiriko on her own. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Focus to Kiriko there. Down for Kiriko down. Anna down, Anna down. You have no supports. I have returned. How you doing, Seraph? Is there one of my clips that alarmed you? All right. Thankfully, you have enough poise that even you manage to contain your impatience and boredom and sit serenely. To your total embarrassment, soon the pleasure of being forced to stare and smell at the delicious food around you has proved too much to your stomach, and it loudly grumbles in protest of the stupid etiquette. Luckily, you have the pure guts to smile and act like nothing happened, so no one acts like they noticed anything either. Finally, his every step a heavy stomp of disapproval, a deep scowl etched into his face. Prince Jared finally has made his appearance. With a look of annoyance, he surveyed the room until finding the empty place with his name next to you and stomping over and sinking heavily into the seat. After giving you a look like you were a particularly slimy toad he was asked to share his breakfast with, Prince Jared settles himself in, not bothering to greet you. You look positively distressed, Your Highness. I hope there's nothing troubling you. He gives you the look of someone who was expecting a sweet apple but bit into a lemon. He doesn't bother to give you any further answer, let alone one using actual words. Turning from you, Prince Jared downs an entire steaming cup of bitter chai in one shot. Only after he does this does some sort of recognition and wakefulness enter his face. Finally, something resembling awake, he studies you assessingly. I can't believe they expect me to have an appetite while stuck looking at you all morning. You could put some effort into not to look as repulsive, you know. Scowling with the face of righteous eavesdropper, not that she had any to try hard, Prince Jared might as well have been announced it to the whole room so loud with his pronouncement. From down across the table, Princess Anael takes careful aim and chucks a large scone directly for Prince Jared's head. Insult my pretty Ynez again, you rude cur, who is an insult to the fleas on the mangiest of dogs, and I will throw something much sharper next time. No matter how much he might deserve it, you can't really allow the princess to create an international accident on your behalf. You attempt to catch the scone before he can hit his head intended target, and you aren't quick or accurate enough. Not like Anna, who his aim proves to be pretty perfect, as the scone slams right into Prince Jared's forehead, bounces off, and lands into the bowl of soup you have been very politely, eagerly waiting to eat. You attempt to ignore the small splashes of soup and Prince Jared's outraged noises. You rack your brain, but you can't think of anything to say to smooth over the moment. So the room descends into a heavy, awkward silence, ignoring, of course, the cursing, angry mutters of the prince next to you. It is only then, oblivious to the tense moment he literally walked into, that your other seat partner, Lord Blaine, sachets his way into the room. His confident strut turns into dismay when he surveys the room and realizes that the only empty seat is the one between you and the wall. Scowling, he makes his way to the seat and sits, his nose pinched like you smell. I can't believe I have to sit next to you. If you couldn't sit next to my fair Princess Anna, I could at least sit to someone less. I wouldn't worry about him, Glitter. It's the nature of fool's gold to not want to sit next to the real thing. It's not a very flattering comparison. If you are going to be fussy about where you sat, Lord Blaine, maybe you should have shown up earlier than 15 minutes late.
Well, normally that is sound advice, Prince Arad. This morning it would not have mattered as seating was assigned.
If you really want, I don't mind switching with you, Lord Blaine. What's this?
That is very kind of you, Earl Emmett.
It's assigned seating. Think of the chaos if we just decided to start switching. Suddenly, you are the center of all the conversation and everyone's attention. It's rare that a large group of delegates were quiet when gathered together, but they were quiet and almost silent now. You aren't used to having so much attention on you. You feel more than a little flustered. Please sit, Lord Blaine. I'm sure you're hungry. Sending you a suspicious look, Lord Blaine takes a seat, grumbling all the while. Now that Blaine has finally taken his seat, you are finally allowed to eat some of the delicious food in front of you. Of course, you are still required to make polite conversation with the two men who aren't feeling particularly polite towards you or the world. Thankfully, you are a skilled enough conversationalist that the glares and grunts they use to punctuate your monologue is still enough to preserve the illusion that conversation is happening. You have managed to eat enough food that your stomach is no longer protesting and to carry on a conversation polite and boring enough that everyone has moved on from watching, like you and your seat partners were the meal's entertainment. In fact, things have settled into something resembling boring normality. You should have known that anything named in the honor of the matchmaker would never be allowed to stay so. A sharp voice cuts through all the chatter, even from completely across the room where its owner was now sitting at the head of the table.
Lady Ynez.
Your brain racing at this unexpected development, you nonetheless manage to answer without missing a beat. Yes, Lady Matchmaker?
This soft-hearted fool next to me just expressed pity for you. She says that I was cruel to you in my seat arrangements this morning. What do you think, Lady Ynez? Do you have any complaints about my cruelty?
Suddenly, every eye in the room is on you. Demure charmingly. Badly, bravely, baldly agree. I want to save here because I'm not sure what to do. And I'm going to, we're going to return. I'm not sure what demure means. Okay. Oh no. Demure charmingly. I'm pleased that you thought of me at all, Lady Matchmaker. I am of course perfectly happy. To everyone's surprise, the matchmaker breaks out into unscrutable laughter.
You are unexpectedly proving very interesting, Lady Ynez. I can see why you have become a subject of so much interest. It is rare that I am wrong about people, but I find myself looking forward to your second interview this week.
You can practically feel the collective jaws of everyone in the room dropping. For a moment, the matchmaker sounded almost complimentary about you. But you have a sinking feeling this has been another one of her little tests, rather than something sincere. And you can already see the effects, as next to you, Lord Blaine sends you a particularly bitter look. You should have known to be wary when the bitterness turned into satisfaction, but there is a very small amount of time between this change and the action inspired. When he's accidentally bumping a carafe of strongly colored fruit juice in your direction. You aren't able to react fast enough to do anything but sit and watch as the dark juice comes hurling toward you. Covered in the dark, sticky liquid, your dress is about to be stained in not very artistic splatters of deep purple. You stare down at your splattered and stained dress in horror, unsure of what to do. Thankfully, one of the nearby servants takes charge, quickly giving orders to remedy the situation. Even with the emergency spot cleaning from one of the servant girls, it becomes clear that you are going to have to excuse yourself from breakfast early in order to change and have any chance of saving your dress from being permanently ruined. You briefly consider some sort of retribution against Lord Blaine, but you decide against it. Just because he behaved badly doesn't give you the excuse to do the same. You sigh, but you make your way through the door. You make your way back into your room where Ria looks at you in horror.
Oh my Lady Ynez!
When I heard
When I heard you needed me urgently, I never imagined this! Why, poor thing, and your poor dress!
Between her exclamations of horror and her reassurance to both you and your dress that she would make you right again, Ria manages to deal with everything neatly. Using her hard work and some impressive solution in the basin, she even manages to get all the stains out. You sigh and throw yourself back against your bed. It has been quite the morning. It's hard to believe this week has hardly begun. And not just your week. Your day, too, had just begun. You can't hide in your room forever. You still have other things to do. Let's see. How is our beauty? Okay, let's make our beauty pretty good, right? Let's beauty tips from mates. Yeah. Beauty tips from mates. Yes. Everyone has been trying to be on their best behavior for the matchmaker this week, and all the strain of that effort is starting to show. Unfortunately for you, the dinner seating arrangements have put you quite literally in the middle of the result of that stress.
I can't believe you suggested that seriously, sir.
And as it is not I, if I claimed it was my preference, but one does one's duty after all. If they were determined to argue so loudly, it was impossible for you to ignore them. You wished they would at least bother arguing logically with facts, not suppositions, assumptions, and opinions.
But you can't seriously suggest that it would be appropriate for our...
What's up, Echo? There's a part where you turn into chapter 6... Oh, what? Is it a World of Warcraft reference?
Appropriate for our king next wed to someone so foreign. Why, half the women here are barbarians or turned to so strange that they would make no man a proper wife, let alone a proper queen.
But our duty here is to further the interests of our nations, and certainly the matchmaker did not seem inclined to grant your earlier request, only to be matched with one of your own kind. It's a Warcraft 3 reference, got you. It was, that's the part where everyone turns into a zombie and King Arthas just like does the thing, right? And just like, he's one of the heroes that sent to madness form of media. Yeah, it's, I think I remember.
How did you know about that?
Half the delegates know about it. The matchmaker is not exactly quiet, and not particularly tactful either, when she is annoyed, which you seem to have done.
Well, it is not as if I'm ashamed of my request. I have my future heirs and children to think of.
There is a saying among the young men of Ireland, consider yourself lucky if your duty leads you to a bride with more wits than a chicken, and better looks than a pig, and gives thanks to God if you get both. You may very well be tempting God to punish your hubris by declaring yourself above your duty.
God would not have granted me my position as one of his favored and all my blessings if he did not think I was worthy, and the favored of God must keep themselves clean of inferior influences. And you, Lady Ynez, I know you come from that strange foreign land filled with people who would let books guide their actions instead of God, but surely you must agree we'd all be happier sticking to our own kind.
I can't believe you feel so outmatched that you must consult a delegate from GL. Don't you know how little they understand about proper duty and responsibility? Despite your very best efforts to ignore the two men who to this point have been very happy to ignore and literally talk all over you like you didn't exist, you've been dragged into this ridiculous debate. They both stare at you, pale faces red with wine-flushed intent, their eyes expectant. Agree with the delegate of Ireland. Give them both a piece of your mind. Say something non-committal. Diplomatically, they are both wrong. I kind of want to convince it that something is wrong, but I will save first. Return. Okay. You do your best to gently convince them that such prejudice, rather than hidden behind their claims of natural God-given superiority or behind fatalistic acceptance of their duty, is unfair and harmful. Unfortunately, you are not able to convince them and they both scowl at you in disapproval. But at least you made the effort to change their minds and hopefully have some positive impact on the world in the summit. That counts for something, doesn't it? Released and free from the terrible dinner at last, you return to your room. Jasper takes one look at you and can tell something has happened. Lady Ynez, is something wrong? It's let's see. No, I'm relieved to hear that it is nothing serious, Lady Ynez. Are you ready for your evening plans, or shall I cancel them in favor for a night in?
No need, Jasper. I will do my duty and live up to my obligations.
I think I need another bit of beauty. Another bit of beauty, yes. Now, we have a lot of beauty. So now I just need I need something to increase my grace and poise, and I think going around with Hammond did that. Okay, let's remember our grace and poise was 2050, and our courage is 75. And then if we go around, if we skulk around the castle, our courage becomes okay. Our grace and poise becomes 2050. Okay, so nothing changed. So, and then if we go back to our skills, 75, 25. Okay, so we didn't even get anything from that. Maybe leadership? Did we get some leadership skills? No, we didn't get anything. Did we get practical? No, nothing. We didn't get anything from that. No. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What are we doing? Okay, practice dancing with Jasper. If we practice... Okay, our grace improved a little bit, but not our poise. Is there anything we can do for poise? Learn to defend yourself with Anna. I think that just improves our self-defense. Yeah, it just improves... it doesn't improve our poise. Wander the Isles with Emmett. You don't think the Earl likes you enough to help you train? Okay. Practice dancing with Jasper. Our grace increased by 5. Is there nothing we can do for poise? I think there's nothing we can do for poise. Return. Really to improve your cunning. How do you improve your cunning? Explore the castle, lakeside gazebo, forbidden wing, the parlor. I think I'm not ready for that. Ballroom. Normally, when there isn't some sort of event planned, the ballroom is just on one very large, very echoing empty room. But in some manner of happenstance or even fate, today your wanderings have taken you to the ballroom that for once was neither a hosting, an event, or empty. Instead, a small group of servants were busy hustling around. You know better than to get in the middle of a horde of busy servants, so you let your wandering feet take you elsewhere. No, okay, no. I really need this. Let's see. What can we improve, right? Our cunning is really bad. It's not like we can get insight better, right? I think dancing is the best thing we can do right now. Whenever there is uncertainty or lack of knowledge about potential solutions, there's one place to go, a library. You're determined to find a solution to your current problem. That's all this was. You tell yourself firmly. A problem that needs a solution like any other. Fear of dying or anger at whoever did this was not helpful. You refuse to acknowledge such illogical feelings. Instead, you use your free time to dedicate yourself to action. Today, while you were searching the Vale's Castle collection of rare, ancient tomes discussing horticulture, reading your 10th book, you gasp aloud. It's not a cure, but the unexpected properties of one of the flowers you have seen growing wildly around the castle grounds is when they are stewed like tea, they slow poison. If the book is at all accurate, it will buy you some more time and alleviate any of the growing side effects. It's not a permanent solution, but it's a good start. You hurry outside and search for the flower depicted in the book, and you quickly find some and pick a handful to be sure. Back in your room, you made some improvised flower tea. It tastes disgusting, but you aren't drinking it for a pleasant flavor. Feeling tentatively optimistic, you tell yourself your superior logic and research have found you a temporary solution. Surely, you will be able to find a more permanent one, too. Nice. Princess Jasper. The morning sun shines brightly into your eyes, relentless in its determination that it is morning and you can avoid it no longer. Soon, you'll have to wake up and face a day. Or rather, more to the point, face the matchmaker again. How did you sleep last night? Perfectly fine. You've been working very hard, supposedly. Do you feel better prepared to face the matchmaker this time around? I worked hard, so I think I will have improved. And how have your preparations been coming? I've been positively planning and plotting ways to integrate everything I'm doing and learning. What about your suddenly non-stop social life? How's that affecting you? It's been pretty fun, so many people to chat with, so much to do. I know today is your second interview and that's very nerve-wracking, but have you spared any thought to the fate of your fellow delegates? Who cares about anyone else? I'm embarrassed to admit I haven't really... I've been pretty worried about it. I've been helping to calm and coach some of my fellow delegates in my free time, for whatever the help of one with a face that is as grim as if he is summoning you to your executioner. Well, that might be more the fault of your imagination than anything on his face. Jasper pulls back the curtains of your bed and clears his throat. Lady Ynez, I'm afraid we have delayed long enough. It is time. With his butlerly powers of efficiency under his supervision, it is barely any time at all before you have been primped and polished and shined and stuffed into your best casual outfit, until even you had to admit you had rarely looked better. I feel like I'm being sent off on a marriage interview to try to impress my potential husband and his famously picky family of potential terrible in-laws of doom. You rather are, but actually I believe the matchmaker would be harder to please than 100 such dreadful potential relatives. Thank you, Jasper. As always, you do completely do your duty to be as reassuring as possible. I think the truth serves better preparation and reassurance than 1,000 sweet lies ever could, Lady Ynez. Now, no more delays. We should leave now.
Good luck, my lady. I'm sure the matchmaker will get to know you better this time and see how amazing you truly are.
Do not be afraid. I am most confident in you, of any I have been assigned to since I became a butler. And how many is that? Surely it couldn't have been more than just one. The last summit was 7 years ago. How old could Jasper be? Jasper just smiles mysteriously. And if you do not know the answer to your question, or simply do not wish to give it, smiling is always a good response. After bidding your maids goodbye, Jasper walks you to the halls of the matchmaker's door. I will not be able to accompany you this time, even any further than this. You worry too much. I'll be fine on my own. I know. Take a single, steadying breath with a resolute nod, step forward and open the door. Inside, the matchmaker and her same pinched-faced note-taker sit. The matchmaker gives you a regal wave inside. You step in and have barely made inside the room before heavy doors close behind you with a loud bang. Ah, Lady Ynez. Right on time. As expected from Jasper's girl. Come on, take a seat. I confess I've been looking forward to talking to you all morning. Aren't I your first interview today, Lady Matchmaker? She breaks out into a large cackle. I see some of Jasper's dry wit has rubbed off on you, girl. Now, come in. My eyes aren't what they used to be. I want to get a good look at you. At her insistence, you walk into the room and take a seat facing across her at the little table in the center of the room, like she's a concerned old aunt and the pair of you are going to have a nice little chat with tea. You give her your best tea with highly respecting auntie smile. You are so far from convincing the matchmaker laughs, amused at your failure of a smile. Oh, I really am looking forward to this. You may not be aware, but the castle is abuzz with talk about you, Lady Ynez. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Like they have anyone more interesting to talk about. I've always found it an interesting proposition myself, throwing a bunch of strangers in some degree of a direct competition with one another together, forcing them to be on their best behavior and giving them no outside company and little contact with home for weeks at a time, that is. Katya always thought that this would force people to learn about one another, throw away their preconceived notions, and create lasting bonds with one another. For her, this proved true. For everyone else, well, I find it an interesting judge of a person's true character to see them go through this little social crucible. You learn so much what people are made of here by the Isle, by watching and by listening. For better or worse, there's been much to listen about you.
Despite having so much time and opportunities, you have yet to make many friends. I'm afraid this does not reflect well on you. Of course, friendship is certainly valuable, and you are all here in hopes of finding or stealing a true heart's connection. Perhaps romance is not what you seek here at the Isle. Or perhaps your heart is already loyal to one. I will not judge you for it. But it was a rather premature of you for you to close so many doors already. Of course, no matter how much someone likes you, for a true alliance, in all senses, you must also be seen as approved, respectable bride. You have not become someone of any particular note, but neither are you regarded negatively. Of course, if you truly want to be a player on the international stage, it doesn't only matter if people like you, or even love you. People have to respect you. It is rather disappointing how little respect you have managed to gain from your peers. And of course, relationships aren't all sunshine and butterflies, especially here at the summit. I wonder if you've made yourself some rivals. You've burned too many bridges, my girl. It'll be a difficult road you have chosen to walk, and it does not reflect very well on your impulse control, understanding of people, and long-term thinking, all of which are important qualities. But it's not just interacting with the people and building relationships you have been doing since you arrived at the Isle. I have it on Jasper's word that you have been studying diligently and working very hard to improve yourself. It has made me quite curious to see if you've truly made any progress. Your looks are satisfactory. No poems will be written to the curve of your eyelash, but no one will have any complaints either. You're still completely dependent upon others when it comes to matters of protecting yourself. I will note your failure to improve. You have still not solved your problem in regards to your grace, nor rather your complete lack of it. I will note your failure to improve. You're certainly now eloquent enough to express yourself clearly and effectively, which is more than I can say for most of your generation. You have enough courage to impress even a seasoned judge like myself. You have enough etiquette that no one will toss you from their homes on account of some terrible breach of it, which is good enough, I suppose. You still lack the trace of cunning. Being too guileless will not serve you well. I will note your failure to improve. Your poise is sufficient enough for your needs, Lady Ynez. What is my poise? What is my poise? My poise is 50. Okay, so 50 is fine for everything. Okay. You're still completely lacking in any natural charisma. I will note your failure to improve. You've proven yourself whip quick, and very intelligent. I approve. You're still completely off-putting, with no charm to speak of. I will note your failure to improve. You still have the ability to command a very obedient dog. I don't know how you expect a position of power will come with such poor leadership. I will note your failure to improve. I've seen your mastery in politics in action. Impressive. Politics? I'm good at politics? When did I become good at politics? 50? Oh, 50, okay. The way I hear your understanding of academic knowledge matches that of a scholar. It gives me no pleasure to say this, for I know it will bitterly disappoint Jasper, of whom I am fond. But then it cannot in conscience declare you a fit delegate. You had a second chance, and a chance to change my mind, but you did not use it well. You will not get another. No country will sanction an alliance or even listen to the advice of a delegate whom the matchmaker declares unfit. To save yourself and your country from any further shame, it is hastily decided for you to return home. No! In the end, Lady Ynez of GL is sent home in disgrace and did not even register as a footnote in history. Could she have been something more? Could she have changed what happened after the summit? The world will never know. No, your story has come to an end. No. Least improved. Failed to impress the matchmaker during the third week and you were sent home in disgrace. No, we have failed. No, and I was being so about it too. Okay, so, alright. Now, I plan to play this game again. But, it seems we have gotten our first game over, and it will be the first of many. But for now, it seems our time has come to an end. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thanks for stopping by. Always remember, you can do anything you put your mind to. Believe in me who believes in you. And for now, bye!